The world will little note nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they
who fought here had thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here, dedicated to the great task remaining before us. It was day 3 of Gettysburg, and Lee had ordered an attack on the Union. It called for nearly 12,000 men to march over 1,000 yards across open ground. The Confederate line would stretch for over a mile. Pettigrew's division would comprise of the northern portion of the attack, while Pickett's division would be the southern wing. The attack started from Seminary Ridge with Pickett's and Trimble's divisions and slowly marched eastward. Union batteries from Cemetery Hill to Lower Round Top immediately opened fire on the advancing line, opening temporary gaps in the units. The Confederates kept coming and after 15 minutes reformed their lines after crossing Emmitsburg Road. When the Confederates were within 400 yards, the Union artillery began firing. The two wings of the Confederate advance converged as Pettigrew moved to the right and Pickett to the left. Opposite the main assault was the Angle, a point in the Union line where it formed a 90-degree angle. Positioned in the angle, behind a stone wall, was the 71st Pennsylvania Regiment. To their left was the 69th Pennsylvania, supported by 5 guns of Cowan's 1st New York Battery. As the Confederates pushed forward, the men and artillery in the angle poured devastating fire into the approaching units. Still, the Confederates came, this time reaching the stone wall of the angle. General Armistead led the Confederate attack with a group of about 200 men and overran most of the 69th and 71st Pennsylvania before reaching Cowan's battery. General Webb, who watched the attack, ordered the 72nd Pennsylvania into battle. The 72nd Pennsylvania halted the Confederate advance and forced many of the enemy to seek cover behind the western side of the stone wall. Hand-to-hand fighting raged in the angle, and Webb ordered a charge by the 72nd. The regiment refused the order, and Webb gave up the attempt. This time, the 19th Maine Regiment and the 42nd New York Regiment rushed into the angle to drive the Confederates out. The Confederates were now outnumbered and cut off from any reinforcements. Soon, anyone left in the angle was either captured or killed. The remaining Confederate units near the angle slowly retreated and made their way back towards Seminary Ridge after realizing no reinforcements were to come. Pickett lost nearly 3,000 men, which was over half of his division. He lost all 15 regimental commanders. When Pickett returned to Lee, he was ordered to prepare against a possible Union counterattack. Pickett then replied, "General Lee, I have no division now." Despite the Confederate retreat, the Southerners were still a formidable force. Meade, having assumed command only 6 days earlier, was in no mood to face the Confederate guns lining Seminary Ridge. In addition, nightfall was soon approaching. The following day, July 4th, erupted in rainfall and saw the retreat of Lee's army.